Hi, everyone, and thank you very much for taking your time today and joining us in this webinar about how to advance insurance wellness services with remote video-based vital signs monitoring. Thank you again for taking the time today. My name is David. I'm the founder and CEO of Binah.ai. And goes without saying, like any of our other webinars, you're more than welcome to write your questions in the Q&A during the session, and we will answer each and every question that will be coming out of you. So it will be our pleasure to answer you in real time or to get back to you after the session. A few words about Binah. The company was founded at the end of 2016. Today, we're just above 70 employees, and as time passes, we're growing. We have a huge research center in Binah. The majority of the people coming actually from physics. Today, we have over 60 customers, and as a B2B company, we are purely focused on providing Binah's technology to some of the largest insurance players in the world and the healthcare providers. We work with Generali from Europe, Sompo from Japan, Momentum from South Africa, and more in others, insurance players and healthcare players in this kind of an industry. And like any other startup company, I think that the core essence and the core added value for a startup company, it's the manpower. And as time passes, we're adding more and more great people we can find. At the beginning of this year, Dr. Navet Tov have joined us as the Chief Medical Officer. Dr. Navet Tov have more than 25 years experience. He was the medical director for Kamada, a pharmaceutical company, for 7 years. And prior to that, he was part of one of the largest hospitals in Israel for almost 20 years. Dr. Shira Simitov joined us last year to lead our regulatory efforts as we move forward and work on FDA approvals and other types of approvals to the multiple vitals that we're creating. So we're adding more and more great people that will help us to bring this kind of a vision and this kind of a company to actually realization. In today's agenda, we're going to focus about how wellness programs are actually becoming more and more critical for insurers. And I think there's a huge change in the industry about understanding the migration from just paying claims and to actually work to preventive, to be able to actually support a healthier lifestyle that dramatically reduces the amount of claims that insurance players get. With that, we will talk about how actually Binah technology is actually generating the digital transformation from a healthcare perspective for the major insurance player in this market. And at the current time, we're already in the process with over a dozen out of the top 100 insurers in the world. So this is a great motion for us and a great traction that help us actually create an impact. So I think that what is the definition of health? And this is a question that can be discussed for hours. We actually had a great webinar about the definition of wellness and how actually we can define wellness. And you're more than welcome to check out our YouTube channel, and you can see earlier webinars as well. I think that the Global Wellness Institute defines wellness as the active pursuit of activities, choices, and a lifestyle that leads to a state of holistic health. Because sometimes we don't take it into consideration how playing with our children or just going out for a walk in the sun dramatically influence our wellness level and our entire well-being level. So the definition of wellness is ongoingly evolving. And when we try to look about what is the definition of wellness, if in the past people thought that wellness is just eat another apple a day and just keep on walking 10K steps a day, it's something much more holistic. When we'll try to take a look at the bigger picture of wellness, I think we can start understanding that everything starts, of course, from physical. A healthy body with the right exercise, right nutrition, right amount of time that is being spent on the right activity that help us just to live a healthier lifestyle, such as nutrition, sleep, and others. From that, we have to move to the mental wellness. And when we're talking about mental wellness, we have to understand that eventually we are part of something bigger. It's about how we can actually control creativity, how we can actually create added value, how we can solve challenges, which actually dramatically influence our mental wellness. Sometimes, by the way, it's just to get a dog. Sometimes it's just to help someone else. Moving forward to the emotional well-being level and how do you measure wellness from an emotional point of view, I think is to be as part of a group. Any kind of a binding, any kind of a group's feeling, whether it's a family, whether it's a spouse, whether it's any kind of an engagement. Moving forward to spiritual wellness. So a lot of people have to understand the meaning and the purpose in human existence. Sometimes you just become more religious. It doesn't matter which religious you hold. Sometimes you become orthodox in your religious, and sometimes you actually develop your own level of beliefs. But I think that spiritual wellness have also an enormous support and help to get a much healthier holistic wellness. Social, we are social species. Entire humanity have to connect. We've seen how with COVID-19, when social distancing have started to be a must, and how we needed to be in quarantine, how the mental state of starting determining for a lot of different people. So as social wellness, we have to understand that we have to maintain relationships and communication in order to feel that we are bound to a specific community. And this is something that is ongoingly evolving. And environmental wellness. And I think we can define it in multiple types of parts, but the entire purpose of this slide is in order to give you an understanding that wellness is extremely multidimensional. And without us understanding the different points that help us build a better wellness in an holistic point of view, we will never be able to actually control the wellness. On the one hand, we can be exercising every day and having an amazing nutrition plan, but we're not connecting with people. We have a huge emotional issues, so the wellness will never be perfect. In our physical body, we will be amazing, but our mental state will keep on degrading until it will get to a very low and horrible level of depression and anxiety and other part of things. So thinking about the wellness, and while we try to understand and see the big picture for a wellness point of view, I think that just in order to explain the key differentiator from a medical paradigm to a wellness paradigm. In medical paradigm, it's, the entire purpose of the medical paradigm is to make you feel better. On the other hand, in the wellness paradigm is to thrive, how you can ongoingly feel better and better and evolve to a much better person and a human being. When it comes to the medical paradigm, it's to treat, cure, and illness. On the other hand, on a wellness paradigm, it's about how you can maintain it and improve your health, even prevent future issues with your health. From a corrective to preventive, and I think this is completely explainable. And I think from a wellness paradigm, everything eventually is holistic. In other words, wellness is the proactive, preventive, and driven by self-responsibility. Many times the doctor will give you a high-level instruction about you should train more, you should do more exercise, you should, eat healthier, and just, adopt any type of a healthier lifestyle. But the higher level, everything is self-responsibility. Don't touch this amazing chocolate cake. This is self-responsibility. You should walk the stairs and not take the elevator. Those little things dramatically influence on our wellness level and prevent a lot of different medical intervention in the future. Moving forward and trying to understand how come wellness has become such an urgent case in those days. And it's not just buying any kind of a wearable that will just support us in our path to lose weight, but I think it's a much bigger picture, because we can see how just during the last 45 years to 50 years, how the level of obesity have dramatically increased in a crazy level. How children obesity have got to a level that no one have expected them to get, with all the fast food that is available in extremely low prices and as well in a really extreme low quality. We have to see that the number of people that die annually, from non-communicable diseases, a lot of things that we can control, is growing each and every year that it passes. And what are the common health consequences of overweight and obesity? Endless amount of chronic conditions, from cardiovascular diseases to a lot of endless amount of influences on our body, and the cost that we are generating over the healthcare system, which is eventually the country itself. Aging. So many times people don't understand how an older world we're living in. But if we'll take a look at the numbers, the number of people that when we're talking about the population age during the next 30 years, the number of people between 0 to 64 is going to increase only by 22%. The number of people above 65 will increase in more than 188%. The number of people above the age of 85 will more than triple itself. And the number of people that actually live above the age of 100 will increase in more than 1,000%. Today in our world, we live in a world when there's almost 1 billion people above the age of 60. In the next 30 years, this number is going to more than double itself. Healthcare is evolving, home care services evolving, there's endless amount of development in food quality and in food delivery and in developing areas. And with that, the population of the world is evolving. And that means that within the next 30 years, we're going to have over 1 billion people above the age of 70. And we have to get ready for this kind of a world because people will need to take care of themselves much more. There are no 1 billion beds available anywhere to support this kind of an aging population. So from a wellness point of view, we have to take those kind of understanding in mind, because with all this kind of an aging population that will surround each and every one of us in each and every country, even in the what's considered today the lowest and I think the least advanced developing countries, the population age is also growing. And according to the World Health Organization, within the next 10 years, we're going to have a global shortage of over 18 million medical staff, doctors and nurses. And the amazing thing about, if you take a look at the report, even prior to COVID, prior to the horrible influences that COVID-19 had over people, not just by people that got infected, but people that had to completely change their lifestyle, people that lost their job, people that actually lost almost everything due to COVID-19, it's going to get actually much worse, and we will be needing much more medical staff in order to support this world. So I think this entire purpose of this webinar is to have a discussion and to take this discussion forward about how the insurance industries are starting to shift in a huge steps, much more than expected. And we're not talking about, insurance startups. There's amazing insurance startups from Fox, from WeFox to others, from Lemonade to other insurance players that are already shifting this market. But we've seen all the old school, the top 10 insurance players in the world have started to shift into wellness. And insurance is moving from paying claims to becoming a lifetime wellness partner. It's really obvious how investing with your insurees will have a healthier lifestyle will save you billions of dollars, sometimes annually, on claim. So I think that eventually this is coming from Vitality, from an insurance company in the UK that already adopted the great added value of wellness monitoring and wellness supporting systems, and they call it shared value insurance. And what do we mean by win and win, a win-win situation? The benefits for insurers is pretty obvious. You improve the risk management capability. The operational cost is dramatically reduced. And when I'm saying dramatically, some insurance companies talk about 27 to 32% reduction in the operational cost of the insurance company. You can get real-time health data that the client actually provides you in order to have an ongoing dynamic underwriting, which means not just during the underwriting process you will be able to get health information, but as time passes, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, or an annual basis, you will be able to extract client health data in order to understand what is the risk, not only in order to raise your premiums over the policy, but more in order to support the person to live a healthier lifestyle. Move care from reactive to proactive, it's a huge thing. If you see that your insurees customer have starting to have a degrading health style, is resting heart rate is starting to increase, is actually weight is not in control. You can see his blood pressure going up during the past 2 months. You should not wait to see a claim once it's become really critical. The person itself, you can actually actively contact him, offer him nutrition plans, offer him online yoga classes. You can offer him even just, you can offer him a discount in order to start living a healthier lifestyle. That many times actually those kind of interventions actually work. Personalized services, everything will be extremely personalized, whether we're talking about upsales to your customers or whether we're talking about having the best type of services that you can provide for a person. Streamlining underwriting, everything today in underwriting, unless you're in a specific group, You've answered the questionnaire in a specific way, and you actually, under a specific underwriting amount, everything requires additional steps from seeing a nurse to getting another medical exam or anything like that. Once you're able to support the people, the entire underwriting process is streamlined. And one last thing that is extremely important, fraud detection. If you can accurately estimate the life quality and the wellness level of each and every client, you can much easier detect fraud claims that are still somewhere between 0.5% to sometimes up to 1%, depends on the insurance company. I'm talking about from the bad claims, yes, not from the entire customer base, of course. And the other type of the win, which of course makes complete sense when we're trying to look about the customers themselves, which kind of benefits they actually gain of using those kind of wellness services. The most important part for many of the customers is just having a lower insurance premiums. And when we're talking about a person that lives a healthy lifestyle, is vital, is continuously looking more and more positive, then you can dramatically lower their insurance premium. At the age of 45, being completely healthy, having a great nutrition plan, a great exercise plan, as well as a great spiritual and mental wellness, you can easily lower your premiums because the probability of such a person to submit a claim have become dramatically lower. Superior coverage, of course. Once the person is healthy, you're able to offer much more services, and that's why the insured feeling much more convenient to achieve and to buy additional services in a reasonable pricing. Having the option to get rewards for hitting health and wellness goals. I think that Discovery and Vitality started this kind of a way about 3 to 5 years ago, when they said if you walk a specific amount of steps, if you eat a healthier lifestyle, you will start getting rewards. Rewards can be maybe just tickets to the cinema, or it can be actually to buy home appliances in a much better pricing. Annual checkups. Many of the people, and we're talking more than 25% of the population, never go to do any type of annual checkups. And having the option to have the information provided on an ongoing basis, you can not only see the information ongoingly, but you can actually, it's getting worth it to actually sponsor annual checkups. Health saving education and support, and I think peace of mind. You know, my best as a person, specifically about myself, my best service providers are those that I never need them. Honestly, you know, it doesn't matter if it's a home fixing services or any kind of an insurance, as long as I don't use them, this is the great peace of mind. And having the option to get an ongoing wellness monitoring capabilities that follows you ongoingly, it truly can generate the peace of mind and dramatically increase the stickiness for the customer of the insurance company. Moving forward with those kind of, I guess, understanding how come providing wellness capabilities is a win-win situation, we have to keep in mind that eventually the entire list of those kind of benefits are becoming reality once you have a real-time health data. And this kind of health data can dramatically changes the way that the type of benefits the insurers get and the insured get is completely evolving. Additional, I think, huge surge that we see during the past decade is everything about corporate wellness programs. Today, according to the US Center for Disease Control, almost half of American workplaces offers some sort of a wellness program for their workers as of 2017. And we see that as time passes, it's actually evolving and evolving. We see major pharmaceutical players from Johnson & Johnson leaders and to others are starting to actually sponsor wellness, personalized wellness programs for their employees. How you can make sure that your life quality will get better, which means it has also a direct influence about the productivity of your employees. There's much better productivity. There's less chronic conditions that require times off and sick days. There's a much better ability to control the employees' churn inside of the organization. So ongoing corporate wellness, and I think there's also a huge surge in gamifying those kind of a corporate wellness program is actually happening worldwide and is delivered to endless amount of enterprise almost everywhere. When we're talking about the benefits, and it's important to say that it's already happening and already in line. From what I know, Discovery and Vitality actually started this phase. We see how Anthem have started supporting wellness programs. We see United Health have over a dozen wellness applications that are available for multiple types of customer groups. We see how Johann Hancock have started adding more and more wellness capabilities. And I think this kind of a trend will dramatically evolve during the next 2 years. And when we're talking about the type of customer engagement that those kind of insurance companies actually see, it starts with collecting health, but it also includes pretty interesting insights from the sales data. And once you're able to achieve this kind of information, and those kind of can be huge amount of information, you can then start making things much more intriguing and much more interesting, whether it's according to your plan to continue to adopt and actually get new customers, or how you should actually have a better planning on the type of premiums and policies that you're designing for next year. So the key importance of having to collect health data, and this is according to the Boston Consulting Group, so they've been working years in order to understand how this kind of collecting health data dramatically changes the added value that is added for huge insurance players. So we had the time to actually conduct a full poll in order to understand how do insurers get and gather health data. And a lot of people talk about the surge and growth of sales of wearables, but today on an average, just 11% of the insurers get health data using wearables. And there's a lot of reasons for that, from cost to a lot of friction that is created by the customers. And having those kind of capabilities dramatically changes the way that you're able to actually have an ongoing process. So we had an online questionnaire, and we've seen that today almost 50% out of the poll that we've seen gather their information from online questionnaires. We've seen how medical exams include 34% of the health data. And keep in mind, you cannot send a customer to have medical exams on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis, and not even on an annual basis, unless it's a person with a severe chronic condition, which summarize to about 4 to 5% of the population. So we're starting to see, I guess, this kind of a surge. And when I show those kind of companies, the majority of those companies are already finding solutions, whether it's to connect with a wearable, whether it's using technology such as Binah, in order to extract vital signs and make it available anywhere. In today's world, and I think that started from the late 70s and actually evolved to be home devices that everyone owns and everyone can actually use, we're talking about endless amount of medical devices, from blood pressure cuffs, respiratory monitors, heart rate variability monitors, smartwatches, oximeters, and so on and so on and so on. And having the ability to extract those vital signs have become crucial, as have you seen, in order to support a healthier wellness level as a holistic point of view. But we have to keep in mind that those kind of devices have a never-ending friction, whether we're talking about cost and maintenance and shipping, and some fascinating number about usability limitations. According to the American Heart Association, between 30 to 50% of the people that use a home blood pressure cuff just don't know how to use it in the right way. And keep in mind that those kind of devices that have been out there for many, many years, or dozens and decades of years, have a huge issue of upgrade. Once you get a device, there is no way after 3 years in the closet to know if it's still working well, whether it needs any type of calibration. So a lot of companies are just supporting people to buy a new device. And how we're actually disrupting this kind of a wellness monitoring market. We worked on this technology for more than 4 years to be able to deliver a software-based solution only that can actually run almost on any device with a camera, and to be able to extract vital signs in close to real time. The solution today actually covers almost 80% of the need for RPM, but within the next year, and very surprising news, probably next month, we will be able to add more and more value to our customers. So what we have today in production, today we have heart rate, saturation, respiration rate, mental stress level. And mental stress level is becoming a huge importance when it comes to wellness. So we're going to talk about it in just a few minutes, but mental stress is also becoming something very serious. Heart rate variability, and not just heart rate variability, we can actually extract you the entire RR interval, so you can get a raw data of HRV. So we've been able to spend a lot of time on multiple components that help us do everything in a contactless approach. As a backup system, if there's not enough light in the room or just a person decides not to use a front-facing camera, we can extract all those vitals also out of the finger of the person. And that's how we've been able to make this kind of technology available. So I just mentioned stress a minute ago, and it's important to say how we define stress. So when we started Binah, we decided that we're actually not smart enough to build our own stress index. So we sat down and we've been able to discover what is the source of all stress indexes. And the source of all stress indexes actually started by the Bayevsky stress index. The Bayevsky stress index was discovered by the Russian space program in the late 50s and in the early 60s. And as time passes, it evolved to be de facto the source of all other stress indexes. The great thing about that, that we make sure that we deliver a clear stress level indicator from very high to low, and you're able within the first 45 seconds of scanning yourself to get a real indication of the stress level. Goes without saying that to our customers, we provide all the different validations and all the different literatures that support those kind of stress reads for our customers to be able to continuously trust this kind of a measurement of stress. So let's go back for a second about what's happening in the world. And I think one of the most exciting things that happened this year is that in January this year, the American Heart Association has actually released a paper showing how mental stress have become to be the most crucial read on today's life. And it shows an amazing correlation between depression, anxiety, PTSD, a lot of different social isolation and loneliness that are directly linked to mental stress. And having the ability that you can extract mental stress actually can have a huge influence in understanding how it will actually influence the persons at work, the personal relationships, the internal, I guess, decisions that a person will be able to make. And mental stress is becoming bigger and bigger. And we can see it now how the American Heart Association is starting to declare those kind of things. From Binah's point of view, as I mentioned earlier, we give two types of reads. Whether it's from your face or from your finger, it doesn't matter to us. It's up to our customers, and they can decide how they wish to extract vital signs. Many times we're being asked about people with different skin tones, and it took us almost a year and a half in order to be able to support this. The solution will actually support the entire Fitzpatrick scale. Fitzpatrick scale starts from 1 until type 6, and it supports from pale white skin up to deeply pigmented dark brown to black skin. And we needed to make sure, and this is also part of the validation, that the solution can actually support all those kind of skin flavors. And that's how we moved forward with that. So from inaccuracy and validation, so as time passes, we're moving more and more to additional validation in multiple facilities, in multiple worldwide. We had a few customers that already received multiple regulatory approvals, and we've seen how the process that we've been spending for the past year in the US to achieve an FDA, in Europe to achieve a CE marking is moving forward. And we truly hope that by the end of this year, probably early next year, we'll have the first FDA as a class 2 medical devices for several of our vital signs. This is an ongoing process. So we've seen how many of the insurance companies have decided to adopt wearables. And don't get me wrong, wearables are great for continuous monitoring. But the thing is that if an insurance company have 25 million customers, the option to make this kind of a wearable available to everyone, it's going to cost projects of billions of dollars that insurance company will never be spending. And having the option to deliver a software-based solution only that will be available for your entire customer base tomorrow morning, this is something doable with Binah's technology, and this is something that we're actually working on. And many people ask us and sometimes compare us to Apple Watch or a Samsung Watch or a Fitbit or a Withings. But if you take a look at on the accuracy of the devices, so over 99% of the wearables do not have any kind of a medical certification, none whatsoever. The Apple Watch, for example, have only achieved the medical certification for the ECG, but oximeters, heart rate, stress, HRV do not have any kind of a medical validation. There's a great YouTube site by the quantified scientist that ongoingly evaluates those kind of devices, comparing them to a gold standard that are available in the market. And you can see also that the majority of them have a huge accuracy issues, even just with a heart rate. And by the way, don't get us wrong, all different devices that we've evaluated, even devices that are being used in hospitals, and you can name them by yourself, have also issues with accuracy. So the thing is about all those devices, as long as a physician does not take a medical decision based on those vital signs, you do not need to get those kind of solution medically approved. The key go-to-market from Binah's point of view, we decided to actually go to market with an SDK approach, which means that you have any type of an application, you're able to integrate Binah's capabilities into your own application. And your own application can mean that if you have an app running on iPhone, on Android, or Windows, you can actually integrate Binah's capabilities into your app in order to decide what is the user journey up to you. You can maintain your design, you can maintain your user experience, and just choose when to actually initiate Binah's SDK in order to extract vital signs as part of the path that you're taking. Additional options we have for smaller organizations, we actually have the Binah Team platform. And the Binah Team platform actually allows you to use a ready-to-use app that is available in the store and to start using it in real time, as well as having a dedicated cloud platform that can actually collect all the information from your patients. So you can start adopting and using it actually tomorrow if you wish. So I think that if to finalize this kind of session within the next few minutes, I think that if we'll take a look about the top 10 global cause of death in 2016, that there's a lot of information about that. I think that the sad thing about that is that we can easily say that having a healthier lifestyle and supporting a much better wellness level from an holistic point of view, dozens of percentages out of those kind of deaths can be prevented. And the amount of people that can prevent earlier deaths and earlier type of degrading health style is completely our own responsibility. And when insurance companies, that everything eventually is on the ability to accurately assess the risk of mortality, the risk of multiple things, you're able to do it in a continuously monitor. So each year, as I mentioned, millions of people die of preventable deaths, and we see how those kind of a wellness plan can dramatically save millions of lives annually. And this is something that is evolving as time passes. So I think one more thing that I would like to share with you, how current vital signs, not future vital signs that we're already working on, that will be released soon, will be able to add an amazing ability to get indicative of possible health issues. And I think the first example that I'm going to share with you is actually how can resting heart rate, just resting heart rate, I'm not talking about anything advanced, can help to assess the mortality risk. On 46 different studies that included almost 1.3 million people, have actually demonstrated that people with health condition, once you're just measuring the resting heart rate on a daily basis, every morning, and if the resting heart rate is above 80, there's a 50% higher level for mortality risk. And when we're talking about healthy people that do not have any type of chronic condition, we're still talking about 25% mortality risk if the person had the higher resting heart rate than 80. And this is something fascinating, and I truly recommend you to read those kind of papers that demonstrate the type of evaluation and the process that they've taken and how they reach those kind of conclusions using this enormous amount of data that was collected. So something that Binah have actually just announced is that we are able to provide a health score. And by measuring the multiple types of heart rate, measuring ongoing leading heart rate variability, and also getting the right stress level and indication, we're able to provide you a clear health score. And we can actually call it a wellness score. And once you have this ongoing wellness score, you can easily decide of the type of the premiums and the type of the recommendation that you can provide to each and every one of your customers. And having this kind of a score that is determined and based on heart rate variability, and mental stress can dramatically change the type of offering that you're able to deliver. And when we're trying to look about the process that is mostly adopted today about underwriting and wellness programs, let's help Jack get back in shape. And when we're talking about Jack, meet Jack, by the way, a creative director at an advertising company and a 21 years old millennial on a quest for a life insurance. Eventually, Jack connects with Best Insurance, the best possible available insurance company that is available for him, for a quote. After asking Jack several questions, an agent sent Jack a link to scan his vital signs using Binah technology, which means just within the next 2 minutes, when people are never feeling, comfortable talking with an insurance agent, just by using the app, you can actually start the screening for an underwriting process, and more than that, for a pricing capabilities. When you agree to scan and you just allow the camera to get your face, no video will be recorded, no image will be stored, and you will be able, just by extracting the specific vital signs, you will be able to start making a decision regarding the pricing quote. You will be able to start the measurement, and you will be able to start recommending about how to just better the lifestyle of each and every person that would like to get a quote and to become a customer. When we're talking about a wellness journey, eventually wellness is never met on day one. There's a full journey, whether it's initial screening, the progress, follow-ups, and you're able to each and every quarter or each and every second month to be able to continuously extract vital signs in order to have a better journey with wellness. Having the ability to extract vital signs at each and every point, having the ability to monitor about the increased wellness on each and every aspect of the person's ongoing life dramatically changes the way how you treat a customer and how you become an ongoing partner with your customer. So we can talk about disease management, which is a huge thing, of course, but if we'll take a look at the higher picture about how initial screening set potential and achievable goals, progress follow-up, so you can have an ongoing chat with your patient. You have the option to adjust it accordingly and how to adopt a specific plan and keep on monitoring until you see the goal has been achieved. From a disease management point of view, everything is about preventive monitoring, informed decision, and goal settings, so you can actually take it forward. From hard business review, you can see multiple types of quotes that how people with chronic conditions must adopt healthier wellness as a lifestyle in order just to continue. So Binah can actually contribute in each and every one of the points on the way, how you can actually personalize the program, how you can see the improvement in healthier lifestyle. You can actually keep on tracking the medication treatment that the person is actually filed and subscribed in order to be able to see the influences of their body. And being able to continuously monitoring the stress level of the person, you can actually see if the person is taking care of himself in a much better way. We can talk about a few different success stories that companies such as Generali, the largest insurance group in Europe, have adopted Binah's capabilities in order to integrate it into their vital signs and care. We see how Momentum, that has been a customer for a year now, have integrated Binah's capabilities into their Kini applications in order to be able to extract it. And Sompo are great partners from Japan, a top 10 insurance companies in Japan, and actually one of the top 15 insurance players in entire Asia, have integrated Binah's capabilities in order to extract mental stress and heart rate. And Sompo, from our point of view, were extreme pioneers because it actually happened 2 years before the American Heart Association has made it clear how measuring mental stress have a huge indication over the person's point of view. So to summarize Binah's uniqueness, we run almost on any device with a camera. The entire processing power actually happens over the device itself. We as Binah are never exposed to your sensitive information. We get nothing to do with that.